Jai Guru all. So I would like to start by saying Happy New Year to all of you. Welcome to this program Symposium. I would request all of you to put yourself on mute if you are not talking. We'll start our program with Guru Vandana. It's 9:59 now, so we will start our program in 1 minute. Okay, so we'll start Guru Vandana now. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Devo Varam Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akhandamandalakaram Vyaktam Jeno Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Jeno Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Agyarnotimirandhasya Gyanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jeno Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Stavaram Jangam Vyaktam Jeno Krishnam Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Jeno Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chitrapeno Puripattam Trilokam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Jeno Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Na Gururadhikam Tatum Na Gururadhikam Tapa Tattvaena Param Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Manath Sri Jagannath Madguru Sri Jagadguru Madatma Sarva Bhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Guru Radhyanishya Guru Param Daivatam Guru Parotaram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahmanandam Param Shukadam Kevalam Jnanamurti Dandātītam Gagan Satrīṣam Tatamashādi Laksham Ekam Nitam Vimalamachalam Sarvabhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatītam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Namami.
Jai Guru all, welcome in Symposium. Let's move on to our first event. The name of our event. Our first event is a beautiful dance presentation by Team Malhar, and the participants are Ornesha Boiddo, Shumona Dash, and Piali Dharma. All of them are from USA, and they will present dance on Shrishi Thakur's song Jago Arya Brat, Jago Arya Santan.
जागो आर्या बत जागो आर्य संस्थान हरित हो प्रीति दैवी दीपकता जागो आर्या बत जागो आर्य संस्थान हरित हो प्रीति दैवी दीपकता स्वस्ति दीप्त सामनान जनवनादे स्वस्ति दीप्त सामनान जनवनादे एकादश में बंधति प्रकाश स्वस्ति दीप्त सामनान जनवनादे एकादश में बंधति प्रकाश जागो आर्या वर्ग जागो आर्य संतान हरित हो विष्टि दैवी दीपदा गगन करो तुम स्मरण को निशा को चूर्ण करो मृत्युनाथ की वीर दिशा गगन करो तुम स्मरण को निशा को चूर्ण करो मृत्युरात की वीर दिशा संजीवनी फूलदान में इष्टिभूत दृष्ट चल करो दिया संजीवनी सृजन फूलदान में इष्टिभूत दृष्ट चल करो दिया जागो आर्या वर्ग जागो आर्य संतान हरित हो कृष्टि दैवी दीपदा जागो आर्या वर्ग जागो आर्य संतान हरित हो कृष्टि दैवी दीपदा दैवी दीपदा दैवी दीपदा
Joy Guru, what an energetic, graceful, and outstanding performance by three of you. Thank you so much for being with us. I pray at the lotus feet of Shri Shri Thakur for your eternal life ahead.
Okay, so moving on to the next event. So basically, I would like to uh, request, Priyam Boydada, to take it over from me. So just to introduce you, Priyam Boydada is from USA and he is a Sahopratirittik of Shishi Thakur. So I would like to request Priyamda to take it over from here. Jai Guru Priyamda, over to you.
Joy Guru. Joy Guru, everyone. Welcome to the symposium today. This is a great initiative where all of us we get to come together. We get to ask some questions that might have popped up in our mind, and we get to discuss on those, get a lot of clarity, and maybe find a way. Sri Sri Thakur has always shown us the way throughout our life. We have him in our life as fulfiller the best. He takes all the good that we have and maximizes it to such an extent that all the shortcomings that we have just simply deplete and go away. So today, welcome once again everyone on this new year, on this new arising of hope, and let us take this event forward. So the first quest that we have today is from Mr. Kapil Sharma. He is an IT professional from Montreal. And the first panelist that we have is SPR Anand Suryavanshi. Anand Suryavanshida is from Dubai and he's an innovative business development and marketing expert. So, Joy Guru, to both of you, I would request Mr. Kapil Sharma to please proceed with your question. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru. Happy New Year, everyone. My question is about the children upbringing. I've been living in Canada since 4 years. My daughter, as you can see, she's 3 years old. So my question is how to give the good upbringing and teach our Indian culture to the kids when we are staying far away from our land. Like we do not have grandmother, grandfather staying with us to give them to teach them the culture what we have. So what are the ways? Yeah, that is my question.
Ananda, over to you. Jai Guru.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jai Guru to all, Guru Bhais and Guru Mas. I'm actually thankful that you have invited me for this symphonium and asking me this particular question. Well, frankly speaking, I am going to talk more about our practical approach towards this particular thing than of a more of a theoretical part. Recently, we are actually here in Dubai. We are conducting regular satsangs. Okay, this is one part. We are actually blessed that we can conduct certain kind of small gathering where Thakur satsangs are regularly done or conducted through a small community. So this, from starting from this particular perspective, I would like to highlight first thing is that we all have to take a small initiative to have a small gathering. Anyways, in the current life, we are out of India. I myself is staying in Dubai since almost 16 years, and I'm exposed to various culture, various environment, and lot of people are there with a different background, belief systems. They have a different educational background, their religious background. They have their own business background and all. So, frankly speaking, one thing which Acharya Sisi Dada, current Thakur's image in this world, okay, is available for us. So first and the most important thing, though we are away from the country, we are away from anywhere, we try to take a small initiatives to be in touch with Devgar or as our original place where we have been initiated, okay. And frankly speaking, they are the living ideals currently that they are guiding, and they have a right powers to even communicate to the whole globe in a different ways. So I am in touch with Devgar on a regular basis. We take time to time guidance wherever we as a people away from Dubai or away from India always face a lot of challenges. It's not that we are not facing challenges, though we are so much uh, spiritually connected, or I would say we are practicing our meditation practices, we are doing prayers, we are doing everything. But the four most important point I would like to highlight in this particular discussion is that we should get ourselves connected with Devgar current living ideal. There should be a small thin connection should be there. It may be not a direct connection, it can be indirect or through connections. But we should, as an individual, should take an initiative to be in connection with the spiritual master of our living ideal. Okay. So this is first point I would like to highlight, that whoever are there away from country or they are in the country or wherever in the globe they should have a small thin connections with the living ideal. This is first point. Then I would like to highlight one thing. Kids are like monkeys, frankly speaking. Kids like monkey see and monkey do. You might have heard of this particular say. So we kids are very natural people. They will never have any object. They will not be very thoughtful. They will naturally ask you questions. Why this? Why that? Why not this? Why that? Why not that? So as we as Satsangis, we have to educate ourselves first of all that whatever the questions they will naturally ask us. Maybe a kid is a 3-year-old kid, or maybe a kid is a 10-year-old kid, or a kid is a 13-14 years old kid. I have a daughter now, she is a 13-year-old. So her understanding and her questions will be different from an age group. So based on the age group, kids are going to ask you questions, and based on the age group, kids are going to follow you also. So when my daughter was just hardly 3-4 years, okay, we used to conduct satsang. She used to just tag along with me. She used to always be scared to leave me because there was too much of crowd around. She was not so comfortable with the people, the different people. No, satsang is surrounded with different type of people. Here in Dubai, frankly speaking, there is a people who are coming from various background. They are coming from labor camp. There are people coming from a good families also, like from a very well cultured families, from a very posh, very middling rich people family also. So all the mix of people are there in the gathering. The kids actually get very much disturbed sometimes to approach anyone. So she used to always be with me. So I used to keep her along with me. And the moment when I am comfortable with the surrounding people, she used to observe this. There used to people coming to me. They used to talk to me. They are so comfortable. That trust factor is there. That loving and caring factor is there in the gathering. Because this loving, caring, and trust factor is missing in a natural other gatherings. This is the difference between satsang when we conduct and the gatherings which we conduct others. Maybe it's a professional gathering, or it can be a corporate gathering or anywhere. We need to understand that during the satsang, the exchange of energies happen. The energies are positive energies. There is a trust, there is a affection, there is always, we are talking about our beloved loving Lord Thakur and Thakur's love towards his mother, towards his parents, or towards his son Sisi Bodda. So these all things are always being discussed during this environment, and kids are actually listening to that. So when she was small, she used to just be very comfortable when she used to be in this environment. When she used to come back, she used to say that might as well we should go again next week, and she used to be waiting for that gathering. So this is one thing, that the child is getting affected with your environment or what you are doing as an actions. So I used to attend certain cultural programs or satsang activities. So the kids which are small age kids, they are observing you and they are getting that particular feeling. So they are naturally getting connected to Thakur. This is the first effort of our parents we should do as an effort. Where we are outside. So as you guys are in Canada, okay, you can make a small, not like a one weekly gathering. Here we do weekly gathering. We can afford to do that. You can do a monthly gathering, and in a monthly gathering, you can define yourself that okay, in satsang we will just, sometimes food is becoming a predominant, like we as satsangis, we love to eat food. Even Thakur Parivar also loves eating food. So whenever we gather, we prepare a lot of dishes and all. But I would advise that better not to focus on the food, but focus on Thakur and Thakur's ideology, and the positive energy which we can pass on to each other, staying away from the country. One more thing, when she was small and she used to come to satsang, she used to observe that these all people are respecting me, and I am respecting the elders who are coming in that or gathering. So the people who are elder to me, I used to respect them, I used to greet them, I used to ask them, I used to sometimes do pranam also in the gathering. So these are the small things which the kids are observing. And these are our value systems. This is what Thakur has taught us. Give elderly the respect and the adoration. Give the kids the proper love and affection. So this is what one part of it, that you have to conduct a satsang, and with the age group you have to attract people and get a connections with the kids. Now, modern life currently is exposed where kids are going to school. Correct? Now, in school, and I'm talking about practically, this is all the practical things which I am observed and I am trying to do and implementing on my child. So I am just giving you the practical advice on this. So in Dubai, there are IB schools, there are the IB schools are there, and there is one CBSE schools are there, and there are also international other schools other board schools are there. Singapore board schools are also there. You have an option to take a kid in a good admission, good school, because the academic career and the exposure is different. Okay, and each and every academic school has got a different style of teaching. Particularly CBSE school focusing on the theoretical part. They focus on more of a teaching with the books, and they give a lot of assignments and all, and there is a lot of writing for the kids. But the IB curriculum or other school, American board school, they don't give any major assignments for the kids. Whatever they do it in the school. They don't carry anything to home. Okay, so this is a culture which we have to understand as on our educational levels, and based on that we have to develop our kid. So my daughter is going to CBSE school, luckily. So there are so many Indians are there, and obviously with Indian community the value systems are almost the same, like right from north of India to south, east of India to west. Okay, because we are all surrounded with so many gods and goddesses. So South Indians, they follow Balaji. They have that, there is a tika on their head, and they follow their own typical South Indian culture. But almost all the value systems are same: elderly respect, doing bowing in front of the elders, and for the kids also, a teacher's respect is there. We, frankly speaking, when a kid is going to IB school, there is a challenge. Okay, I'm not sure whether in Canada what exactly the educational systems are there and all. I would say that the kid is going to IB school, there is no harm in that. Okay, we have to be really questioning, or a kid should have a practice of coming to your home and should give you a brief about what she or he is doing the whole day, what he's or she is developing or discussing with his friends and his colleagues or his teachers and all. So my daughter used to always come to from the school. She used to give me the whole briefing after half an hour. So briefing of a child coming from the school is also equally important. So this you have to cultivate that particular habit of for a kid, that he or she should come down after school, Baba or Ma, whoever, she catch holds and she gives you a whole briefing about what happened and what not happened. There you have to analyze as a parent that, okay, this is a good thing. Let her encourage in that. Certain things where it is you think that it could hamper her career or hamper her thinkings or value systems, you should correct it, not immediately, but keep a mental note and do it when as and when you get a time. So briefing from the school for a child when she comes is very important for a parents. Third thing is that we as a parent should take a right initiatives to educate ourselves. Very important, because we are exposed to all the things. We are quite knowledgeable enough. We are taking higher studies and degrees and all. We should have all the reasoning, good reasoning for whatever we do. So first and the most important thing, we should have an answers for the prayers. Why we do the prayers? This question should be asked to you first, and we should have an answer to the prayers. What happens when the person does a prayer? Frankly speaking, my daughter, when she was just she was like a birthday, 12th birthday. I told her that I'm going to give you a good gift. You please research Google and find out what are the importance and the benefits of prayers. The whole world is doing prayers. Christians are praying Jesus, Buddhists are praying Buddha, Muslims are praying Allah, Sikhs are praying Guru Nanak, we are praying Thakur. So what exactly the benefits and the importance of prayers? So she by herself at the age of 12, in her birthday, she actually Googled and she developed a very nice presentation, PPT. And she found out that these are the benefits, these why the prayers have to be done. Okay, she actually given me a very scientific reasons, all the things like how the mind gets stable, you are focused, your pituitary gland which is there in this particular portion while in meditation time. Thakur has already, and we also advocate people that we have to focus between the two eyebrows. There is a special gland here, and this gland helps us to develop a concentration and a sound mind. And you can actually capture a lot of things. You can learn a lot of things. But that gland has to be activated by doing regular meditation and prayers. So she developed a very nice presentation. So this is the way I am trying to educate my child. Okay, I would advise you, or I would request you also, you encourage kids. Let them explore. And Google is there. Google is one of the best medium currently. Right? That it has been it's a blessings to all of us. There are certain wrong things are there. Now it is our focus where we have to focus ourselves. So she developed a very nice benefits and all, and I actually advocated this particular presentation in my family members and my close relatives and friends. So they appreciated. So she got more encouraged and basically motivated. So this is one of the trick which we have to develop for a kid to get attached to our ideal or Thakur prayers. Okay. Now another thing also very important thing which I have observed, and I would say yes.
Ananda, sorry to interrupt. Like you have to like complete within 2 minutes. Dada, we are reaching time.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So another very important point I would like to highlight during this all session is that we should also develop or encourage our kid not to say or anything abusing to other religious people. We should actually encourage them to talk about the other religions respectfully. There is a very important thing that now we are surrounded with all major Muslims in Dubai. Okay. I actually advocate my daughter that which is actually Thakur has already given a nice book, Islam Prasanga. Okay. So how Allah had educated people, how Allah was talking about everything. Okay. So Thakur always had educated us and advocated us that we should talk high and respectful about all the religion. But we are attached to Thakur. So our focus should be Thakur. Our kids' focus should be Thakur with respect to all and have always an intention to learn about other religions. So this particular thing I would like to highlight more. Let the kids be natural. Let them understand, be focused. Let them be naturally exposed to all the environment. But what we do in our house, automatically kids will follow. And the very important thing, current kids are, Baba, you have not done. Why should I do? This answer should not be asked by any kid. You should be advocating yourself. You should follow yourself. Automatically, kids have to blindly follow. Right? I hope I could answer this particular question in a right manner, and I have touched upon certain basic things. Okay? Jai Guru.
Yes, I got it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Jai Guru. Thank you so much to both Ananda and Kapilda. Thank you so much for your time, your question, and that throw so much light on all the perspectives, like, so many important points, like how we should be leading our lives so that our children are able to follow in suit and catch to the correct things. Thank you so much once again, Joy Guru. We'll move on to the next program that we have. This is a cultural performance. It's a synthesizer performance by Miss Athri Maiti Ma from Pune. Joy Guru Athrima, over to you.
Jai Guru Dada, are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Joy Guru.
And how about the synthesizer?
Yes, we are able to.
Okay, great. Jai Guru to all. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. The performance I'm going to do today is a medley of two beautiful songs. Both are Thakur's songs. The first one is composed by none other than Pujanya Obinda, and the song is Ei to Reshei Premer Tirtho, and the second song is by our beloved Shishi Thakur, Arjo Bharat Borosho Amar. I hope I can do my best. Thank you. Jai Guru.
And it was a wonderful rendition, Atrima. So soulful. Thank you very much for the performance, Atrima. Over to you, Priyamda.
Jai Guru. So we'll proceed with our symposium. Thank you so much, Atrima, for the wonderful performance. Thank you. So our second quest is from Mrs. Anita Patilma, and our panelist is Mrs. Sudhriti Tikkal. So Anita Ma is an expat from Montreal, and Sudhriti is from Netherlands, and she's an ex-TCS employee. So Anita Ma, over to you. Please proceed with your question.
Jai Guru. So my question is around, short-temperedness, like how to deal with the short-temperedness and how to stay in control, and what other family members should do, how they should contribute. So yeah.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru Anita Ma. First of all, very pleased to be here with all of you in this extremely interesting forum where the questions that are being put are very, very relatable to all of us. And I think the question that is put to me right now by Anitama, I think there will hardly be anyone who will not be able to relate with this question. And before I start talking about it, I would first like to make a very honest confession that though I will be addressing the question, that does not mean that I have gained the complete control over my anger or my temper. But I can definitely say that I confidently know the way, or I surely know that doing what all things I can get better at it day by day, and I am already in the process. Uh, so first of all, when the question, when I think about it, that the short-temperedness that we all have, I mean, it is not specific to the one who has asked the question or not specific to the one who is answering. But if we see that a newborn child, you know, if you look at him, if he is hungry or no one is paying attention to his wants, he gets angry, you know. And if we look at Sri Sri Thakur Satyanusaran, he has defined anger that a thwarted lust is anger. So I have lust, I have want, and if according to me, if the result is not there, then there is a spur of a moment when suddenly I get angry. And I think we all know that not only anger, but there are these 6 elements which we call 6 complexes, which are the innate nature of our, you know, if we are humans, then we all are imbibed by these 6 complexes, which are Shadripus, right? We call them Kam, Krodh, Mad, Moha, Matchar, uh, and if we see that all these 6 complexes are called Shad Ripu. Ripu means enemy. And why enemy? Because we are always in fight with enemies, right? We fight with them, and at the end of it, there ideally has to be a winner or the one who controls the other. So all these 6 complexes that are there, they are continuously in fight with us, or we are in fight with them. And most of the times we will see that whenever they gain control, then we lose our innate tendency. The person, Thakurji has further said that anger is friend of violence. So whenever I'm angry, then the act that follows is violent, because I need to express. The feeling that has come from within is to be expressed, and the expression comes in the form of violence. So the definition is clear that I have a want. I have something inside me which, if gets unfulfilled, then comes the very, very deep urge to express my unhappiness. And Sri Sri Thakur has always said that if we try to, control them, or if we think that there is an ideal state where there will be no anger, there will be no lust, it is not going to happen. They are always going to remain there because they are part of us. They are part of our existence. If they are not there, we want to grow, right? We want to grow up, and we want to protect our existence. So these are the things that allow us to do that. I have attachment. That's why I get attached to people, and then my existence is fulfilled with my family members. I have pride, and that is why I can sustain in the competitive environment. I have lust or want. That is why I eat. I acquire things that are good for my existence. So all these complexes are there for our existence. However, when they start controlling us, then there is a problem. So Shri Thakur has said in Satyanusaran that my passion and pride do not go, my passion and pride do not go, I don't have control over them. Saying this, they will not go. The more I talk about them, the more I try to focus on them, the more I try to control them, they will run behind me and control me in turn. So then what is the solution? And the solution, he says, is that to remain absorbed in higher thoughts and activities. The more we talk about them, the more we think about them. And here I would like to give a very beautiful example, which is not about anger but about lust. But then whatever is applicable to one of them is applicable to all six of them. It is a story which we also tell all our kids, that when Shri Thakur was small, he was a school going child, and he had a very strong attachment over Rosagullas. He was absolutely in he couldn't control his urge to eat rasagullas. And there was a shop from where every day while going to school and coming home, he used to eat from that shop. Suddenly, he was a small child, and whenever he didn't have money to pay, then he used to eat them on loan. And when this loan increased, the person started denying him. But the urge that was there inside him, the tentacles, they were starting to drag him towards Rosagullas. They will not leave him. One day, the person humiliated him. He thrashed him from the shop. Still, next day he could find that he still has that pulling urge towards those rasagullas. He started running away in the fields so that he will go away and that want will go from his mind. But the more he ran away, the more he felt like he's getting dragged towards them. And then he looked at a guava tree. The guava started looking like rasagullas to him. So the more he was trying to run away, the more he was getting caught in that. And then suddenly he started thinking about his mother, that yesterday I was humiliated on the roads. If that news reaches my mother, how will she feel about it? The thought of his mother, you know, when that thought came, he understood that he gained a little bit of a control over that pulling urge, and somehow, he could reach home. The next day again, when he was coming home from school, it started pulling him. It was very, very serious problem for him. He couldn't come out of it. He again started running away, and by coincidence, it happened that he was running from a field or a garden patch of one person, and that person, because he was running from a garden patch, that person took him as a thief. So he started running behind him with a big stick, saying that, oh, you are the one who is stealing my cucumbers every day. And then suddenly, all his existence was busy in proving to him that no, I am not the thief, but someone else. That he started explaining himself to this Chitta Babu, started running away, and suddenly all his things were busy in saying that I'm not the thief. He ran away, somehow he explained this person, and then he panted and went home. And by the night, when he was about to sleep, a sudden realization came to his mind that this is really amazing. I mean, this coincidence that Chitta Babu was chasing me because he thought I am a thief, that gave me a powerful distraction from Rasagullas. Till that point, when he was on his bed, he did not think about Rasagullas whatsoever. And then he came out with this, that you need to get absorbed in something else, okay, which is not which you want to control, and that is called vritti niyantran. Adjusting the complexes, winning over them, or trying to be in fight with them, we will never be able to win over them. But what we can do is we can adjust them. And here I would like to give a very beautiful example, that I have two kids with one is 9 and my daughter is 5, and all the mothers over here would agree with me that children have a very, very strong attraction for chocolates or some things that we don't want them to eat a lot. Okay, my child is very fond of chocolates. Okay, and then when it comes to it is kind of attachment or greed. And then when they are 1 or 2 years old, they cannot control, but whenever they see chocolate, they want to have it. And then, as a mother, it's my duty, because I know that he shouldn't be doing that. I impose, my protection over there. Oh no, you should not be eating. And the child comes to a point where he has to choose between a chocolate and his father sometimes. And then why can he control that urge? Because he has something more, a little bit more love for his mother, and then he stops itself that no, I have to stop here. So similarly, if we have someone whom we love a little bit more than our complexes, that comes the turning point where I can control myself, and that is called vritti niyantran. So if we have something which is, for me, my love lord Shri Shri Thakur, if he has said something and if I want to follow him, then that urge is a little bit more than anything else in my life. And then that is called vritti niyantran, that helps me to keep my complexes a little bit in my control. And here, we say that in school, suppose I am a child, and when I'm growing up, I do not know that doing what things will make me capable to face the world, right? So we enroll ourselves in the school, and by going in the school, I don't know, when I'm in nursery or when I'm in kindergarten, I don't know that what they are going to do there. I just go there, follow the syllabus or follow the rules, and come home. After 10 years, I know that I am graduating from the school and I'm already capable of uh, you know going outside and surviving in the world. Similarly, we also need to learn about the life rules, how to lead life among this chaos, or these, how to control these complexes. And there is a very defined set of prescribed syllabus, or a defined set of rules that are chalked out. If I get initiated, then there are set of rules. In the morning, we say it auto suggestion. So every morning I sit in front of Thakur and I say, me akrodhi, I do not have anger. Me amani, I do not have pride. If I say this every day to myself in front of him, I will notice that me saying it every day has an impact somewhere. That does not mean that if I say today, tomorrow it will start happening. But yet, today, if I'm getting angry 30 times, tomorrow it might be the case that one time I remember that in the morning I said I have no anger. So might be that if I try not being angry this time, let me see how it works. And if that happens, that I get a better control of the situation, next time I'm surely going to get that thought 2 times. And gradually I will see that I am getting a control over this ripu, this enemy. This is phenomenal. This is self-realization. And why I am so confident about this right now is because from lockdown, I have seen that we got a lot of extra time, right? Which we had to invest somewhere. And all of us over here would agree that all of our Satsang fraternity has become highly active. We are doing online sessions, meeting each other. We have started doing a little more meditation in the morning, and reading a little bit more. And all this has created such a huge impact that how I used to treat my kids before 7-8 months and how I treat them now, I can drastically see a difference, because this auto suggestion has an impact. And there is a clear guideline for vritti niyantran. Pujanya Babaida, in one of his speech, has said that why do we get angry? Krodh kyun aata hai? Why do we get angry? Because whenever we see that the situation is going out of control, we don't have the capacity to handle. Okay, I want something to happen, but the situation is not in my control. Then I get angry. And at that moment, I think sometimes it comes as a reaction, sometimes it comes as a remedy. I think that if my child is not listening, if I shout at him or if I slap him, he will listen to me. So these are the cases when I get angry, right? But then what is the reason? Lack of capability. How will I increase my capability? We listen. If we go online, I think we will be bombarded with the lessons or lectures from all sorts of people who will give us the ways how to tackle anger and everything. But listening to a lecture and actually implementing it every day are two different things. Yes. Okay. I'll wrap up in a couple of minutes.
Yes, please.
So So here Shashi Thakur says that Naam or holy name, if we chant it, it's like breathing exercise, right? Unknowingly we breathe, we do not have to take any extra efforts. So being involved in higher thoughts or activities, doing Naam is also an activity which happens in the background, but Naam makes a person sharp. We increase, unknowingly we increase the capability to tackle the situations. And dhyan that we do in the morning, meditation, makes a person stable and receptible. So having that stability is always going to give me an edge to win over my anger or other complexes as well. So Naam and Dhyan, this is again a part of a prescription. If we get initiated, this comes as a prescription. If we try to, you know, follow it, it sadhana. Sadhana is a tool. It's a tool. If I use it, if there is a nail in this wall, no matter how much I try, I won't be able to take it out. But if I have a screwdriver, it will be taken out very easily. So these the things that we get through initiation are the tools that can be used to very easily control over our complexes. And as a family, if we all try to follow that, there is a coherence. You know, it is like pushing one another. It accelerates the process. So this is what is my understanding about this. And if I have not answered it completely, then we can also talk about it later on. But very very nice question, and this has also made me think over it, and I think I have also got a little bit better at managing my short-temperedness. So
No, thank you. That was really helpful. Thank you so much.
thanks a lot. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru.
Joy Guru. Thanks again, Anitama, for your question, and thanks again, Shudritima. Wonderfully explained, wonderfully answered. I have a responsibility of kind of like mentioning time, but I really could not step in to stop you. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shudritima. Omitama, over to you to introduce our next performer.
Joy Guru. Now I would like to invite my friend Dora Ju from Montreal to present a beautiful devotional song. Dora, can you hear me? Dora, you have to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes.
I'm my name is Dora, and I come from Canton of China. I'm so glad to attend this symposium, and I wish you all have a very wonderful year in this year. I'm so grateful to God. Under His guidance, my life is getting better and better. And of course, I believe that different religions or gods teach people to cut evil and do good. So different religions or gods should be respected. So today I'm gonna sing a song named "You Are My Lord." Thank you. It's your love that makes me sing. Your word that gives me strength. Oh, you let me see in all things that you're the one who reigns. I bow my hand to you. I kneel before your throne and praise your holy name. You are my Lord. I believe in you, my Father, that you gave your Son for me. I believe in Christ, my Savior, who rules eternally. I bow my head to you. I kneel before your throne and praise your holy name. You are my Lord. I bow my head to you. I kneel before your throne and praise your holy name. You are my Lord. When you come in all your glory and we stand before your throne, then every knee will bow down. We will sing and glorify you. I bow my head to you. I kneel before your throne and praise your holy name. You are my Lord. I bow my head to you. I kneel before your throne and praise your holy name. You are my Lord. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, that was absolutely beautiful, Dora. Thank you so much for being with us. I
Thank
pray at the
you.
lotus feet of my love Lord for all happiness in your life. Thank you so much. Keep joining us. Thank you. Now over to Priyamda.
Yeah, before that, Priyamda, I just have an announcement. So I just wanted to invite SPR Shunjib Dasda. If Dada, if you can talk about the Canada Virtual Nationwide Utsav on 6th of February.
Joy to everyone. A wonderful event is going on in the morning. What a great start of the day, right after the New Year. So I like to invite you all for our upcoming nationwide workshop in Canada, which is we are expecting to deliver a wonderful presentation. Yeah, and it will happen from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and the program will be organized, and most of the participants are from Canada. Please join us and encourage us to spread the holy name and to spread the way of being and becoming to the people this distressed condition, in this distressed condition. And I have to see you all, and please spread the message. Joy.
Thank you, Dada. Priyam, over to you.
Jai Guru. Jai Guru, Sanjita. Thank you so much for bringing up the Canada Utsav. We are all waiting for it eagerly. So we'll continue with our wonderful questions. So the next quest, the third quest for today, is from our participant, Mrs. Rajni Rao, and our panelist is SPR Rahul Thakur. So Rahul da is from Bangalore in India, and he's a manager at Canara Bank in Bangalore, and Mrs. Rajni Rao is an ex-customer care executive from Montreal. So I would request Rajnima to please proceed with your question, and Rahul da Joy Guru, welcome.
Jai Guru to everyone. My question is how Thakurji will help his disciple to take right decision. When you are in dilemma and not able to take the right decision, how he will show you the right path.
At the outset, our love incarnate Sri Sri Thakur before Paramaradhya Jagat Janani Sri Sri Burma. I bow down before Sri Param Pujpat Sri Varga, and I bow down for our Acharya Dev, the guide exemplar, the living guide, Param Pujpat Acharya Dev Sri Sri Dada. My heartfelt love and regard to one and all present at this virtual congregation. And I'm extremely thankful, especially to Rajnima, to have given me this opportunity to share my views, the existential views on the eternal path of being and becoming. Coming to the question,
I think there is a technical difficulty. We'll just give it a minute for Rahul da to reconnect.
Yes, sir.
conducive to what? Existence.
Sorry, Rahul, your voice was breaking.
Am I audible?
Rahul da, like just after you started, we lost your audio and video for like a minute. So if you can start from the beginning of your answer, that would be great. Thank you.
I was saying I feel my, heartfelt gratitude. I'm especially for the opportunity to express my existential views on the eternal path of becoming. The question today, what is confusion? What do we do when in a state of confusion or dilemma? Dilemma, confusion is how the way I perceive it is nothing but when we perceive ourselves to be a place where we don't know which way to go, which way to proceed, how to take the right decision, or whether whatever my approach is it right? Is it conducive? Conducive. Let young lady doing wonderful professional sphere has, let's say, to attend to. So notices that the child is ill. Now, depending the professional, part stands up, manages, and still takes care of the assignment, or the severity is to an extent where the mother overtakes the professional part. What manageable and conducive will be able to uphold my existence and nothing else. Existence, as Thakur puts, dharma, and dharma what? And becoming. So the crux stays at what, when I'm in dilemma, the simple thing that I need to do, simple thing that I need to do is what is conducive to upholding my existence of the environment, of course. And what better way to, relate to the current situation, scenario that the entire globe is facing. Each one of us are going through. The last year or so, the entire year has passed on where we have, diverted from our regular life. And why has that happened? Which we probably never perceived, never even thought that we would be doing. Why did that happen? So many things which were probably out of questions at one point in time has now become a natural schedule to us. Because we perceived, we could understand that this part change our existence to be upheld. So confusion or attending to confusion is nothing but understanding what is conducive to my existence and then work on it. Come into picture. When we talk of existence, when we talk of that or answering, address, uphold my existence, what better way? Who else than existentialist himself? There are thousands of pious scriptures, pious literatures, and without even an eye of demeaning any one of them, belittling any immense guidance that they provide us. Simply says it is always a lot more relatable. It is almost always a lot more adaptable when we have a living embodiment of something in front of our eyes. Let's say we talk of kindness. Now, what better way to perceive kindness? It is there in thousands of scriptures. There could be millions of mentions of it. But what better way to perceive kindness than to be able to relate it to a person whom we perceive? So when we have a living embodiment of anything, always a lot more enjoyable, adaptable, understandable. So Thakur stands as the most existentialist. The living embodiment of love, the living embodiment of existence. Am I audible? I think there was some disturbance that I felt. So when I'm
able there is some disturbance. Yeah. Now it's fine. Maybe Dada, you can I don't know, turn off your camera and speak. I don't know, and because I see some discrepancy.
Yeah. So
go ahead. Go.
It is all easier to relate to an attribute when living embodiment of that. When we talk of confusion about what? Confusion about taking the right, or confusion about my understanding of what I'm doing, is it right or wrong? And how I know what is right and wrong, what is conducive to my existence? The simplest way is be able to fall back, relate to someone who stands tall for existence. Thakur is the living embodiment. Thakur is the living embodiment of my being, my becoming. So if nothing else, one thing is for sure, when I hold on to him, when I attach to him, Thakur says, strong attachment, tremendous the move. The more I attach, the tremendous my move. The lesser my confusion. Why even confusion? I could probably fall sick and take medicine, or as a preventive measure, I could probably adapt to ways, I could probably subscribe to a prophylactic dose of medicine so as to never fall sick at all. When what we spoke about, we are speaking about current situation and probe is vibrant or example than the the existential that each one of us have. What is going on around us? We are probably the least affected, and why is that so? If we have tried to attach our activities, we have tried to model ourselves on what wishes we become. And that has been the simplest thing that we have done. Simplest way we could have answered to the current pandemic. We could have either got bogged down to the situation, or we probably, and what we chose to do, we chose to stand up and just see what would my love Lord do in such a situation. We looked around, we tried to pull our environment along, and here we are. Like more than ever, the situation we have the, we're back to the first class. So script is one part, holding on to Thakur and all, and then getting a situation, prophylactic dose of medicine rather than all that is fine. How do we do that? Will it happen to me? Just will I get rid
Sorry,
of
Rahulda, we are not able to hear you. Dada, Rahulda, your voice is breaking actually. Maybe you can reconnect again, Dada, because now I can't hear you anything.
Okay.
We are also nearing that time, so we'll need to wrap up this quest within the next 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, maybe Dada, like we can take it after the Dhoni, like maybe Rahulda can.
Yeah, sure.
Rajnima, maybe like let us again sync up after the Dhani. I mean, Rahulda can join again and maybe he can take up your questions at that time.
Yes, no problem. Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
So now I think, okay. So I think Rahulda has joined again. Rahulda, can you hear us? Okay. Priyamda, I think we can move on to the next part now, and we can ask Rahulda to probably talk about this question after the Dhwani. Will that be fine?
Yes, Rahulda, we can hear you, but there are some problems. So, if can we continue with this question after the Dhwani? Is that okay with you?
Yes, why not?
Okay, Dada. Thank you so much. So over to Momitama. So we will proceed with the next.
Right. So now I would like to invite my friend and colleague, Mr. Nishant Sarathe, So he's also working in TCS Montreal. So Nishant, if you can just come online, and he is going to play a beautiful tune in guitar. Over to you, Nishant. Nishant, are you there? Can you hear me, Nishant? Yeah, okay. Sorry, Nishant, cannot hear you. No, maybe you can join back again. No. No, sorry, still we cannot hear you. Can you join back, Nishant? Can you drop off and join back? Can you hear me, Nishant? Can you hear me? Somehow I'm not able to hear you. So what I'm saying is, can you rejoin? I mean, can you drop off and join back?
Atanuda, in the interest of time, can we proceed with the next quest?
Yeah, I think we can proceed, Dada. Maybe Nishant can join back and we can have that performance after this
We can
quest.
do that, yeah. Okay, so we'll proceed now with the fourth quest that we have today. Our participant is Mrs. Sanchita Sharma Ma, and our panelist is Mrs. Priti Marasini Ma from US. So Sanchita Sharma Ma is an IT professional from Montreal, and Priti Marasini Ma is a professional in insurance industry. So Sanchita Ma and Pritima, Joy Guru, welcome to the discussion. Thank you so much for coming up with the questions, and we'll definitely thank Pritima after the answer is she provides. So Sanchita, over to you for the question.
Jai Guru. My question is, how could we control our thoughts? How can we enjoy in our present moment and not to worry about future uncertainties? So yeah, this is my question.
Joy Guru Ma. I want to first thank Ma for opening up our heart and answering, asking the question. And it takes a lot of the questions that are being asked and the phenomenal answers that are coming through are deeply touching everybody's daily life. I think that is the beauty. And I want to thank all the participants that are coming up with these questions. So thank you, Ma, for the question. Now, I'll start with a very known saying that we must have read in college or in school. There used to be saying that says, tomorrow is a mystery, yesterday is history, so live in today, because today is called present. And we've all read that and we kind of follow that rule broadly. But I want to add one more line to it. Says tomorrow is mystery, yesterday is history, live in the present, but more meaningfully and more purposefully. So this is very important. Now you can live in today, but your today has to be more purposeful and more meaningful. So the point is that it's good to enjoy it in today moment, but it has to be of a purpose in life. Now we all have a reasons for our existence. And I always share this. We took a birth in a certain body. Why am I not an ant or an animal? I'm in a human form, and I'm a mother, so to say. If I'm a woman, I'm a man, I am in another form of body, and we have certain purposes of life. Now understanding this purpose of life is very important, and I think this comes with certain degree of time and certain degree of kind of a divine understanding, trying to understand the unknown sometimes. Now, I'll share a small example that we all use day in, day out. Now, we all check the weather report every day. Now, what do the meteorologists do? They basically try to predict your weather. Now, it's going to be snowing in Montreal, for example, tomorrow, for example. Now, you check the report for tomorrow, and let's say you have a trip planned for maybe a week after, like a weekend, you have to go somewhere. So, you look at the potential weather and you kind of potentially plan your day around it. So it's going to be snowing from 10 to 5. I cannot go anywhere. I'm going to pick up my grocery after 5. So I will plan, I will my boots. So I'm preparing for the predicted weather. But when I'm on the road, when I'm hitting the road, when I'm driving or I'm walking, I come across a puddle of water. Now, that was not predicted. That prediction was not given by the weather report, right? They just told you it's going to snow. And or for example, you're driving and you end up coming or you end up being in a puddle or you hit a jerk or you hit a bump on the road. Now, that was not predicted by the weather report, but it's a condition of the prediction. It is a condition of the snow that happened. Now, that bump could be a bigger bump. Now, the water puddle could not just be a small puddle. It could be a bigger puddle of water. Then what? Now, then what when I do not know what to do? A little jolt I can take in the car. What happens when the jolt is too big? What if it's an accident? Yesterday we heard a story of one of the Guru Bhais, one of the family friends of ours in Texas, and he was driving in Texas. Texas, it doesn't snow. He happened to be in a place where it was snowing immensely. It's not because the tires are not designed here to be in snow. He realized that he was almost going in a ditch. And he has 2 kids. He was driving back about 6 hours, which took him 14 hours to get back home. But he realized that he was getting into a ditch, but he felt a divine power push him back on the road. He said, I almost had accident almost 15 times on the way. Now, these are the things he never planned for. Driving in snow is not a big deal, but there are some situations that the weather report cannot predict. Now, same thing in life. There are some people that can predict your future or can, we believe a lot in that, but it's not something wrong with due respect, but we need somebody that can not just predict in a way, but actually they can prepare you for that circumstances. Now, prediction is one thing and preparing is one thing. So worrying about the future is not wise, but preparing for it is also actually, that's wisdom in so to say. So in my experience, what I have realized is that as much as even as a parent, my parent prepared me, you are trying to prepare your children, which I heard, your husband Dada asked the question earlier, but we try the best we can in our capability, right? But there is absolutely somebody supreme. There's absolutely somebody who knows more than me and my parents that can prepare my child. There's absolutely somebody who worries about my children more than I worry about my own children. There's absolutely somebody there that is our guru, our master, our teacher, our living ideal that we all follow. Now, why do we need to? I'm living a good life. Why do I need to follow? Now, I'll share a small example. Now, it's a small experience of Prafulda. Prafulda was a person that dedicated his life to our guru. When our guru was alive, Sri Thakur, Prafulda dedicated his entire life to his service. Now, he was, he used to write Thakurji, whatever Thakurji used to say. Our guru used to give a lot of banis, lot of dictations, and he used to write. So one day he was writing a dictation. Now, typically how we all write something when the teacher is giving us notes, we flip the page, right? When we think, okay, the notes are not going to come in one page, so we start on a fresh page. And Thakurji was giving dictation, a new dictation, and he tore the old page off. It was only half filled. And he flipped the page and he turned to a new page and he started writing on a brand new page. Looking at that, Thakur paused. Thakur asked him, saying, so why did you tear off the existing page and go to the new page? He said, Thakur, very simple. You're giving a new dictation. What if it doesn't come in one page? What will happen then? So Thakurji asked him, what does it show about you? Do you realize? He said, no, Thakur, I didn't understand. So Thakur said, this shows that you're worried about the future. He said, Agya Thakur, that's true. I'm worried about the future. That's very true. So Thakur says, worrying is like a disease, but the solution is to have faith, rely, have faith on your Lord, have faith on your existence, have faith of why you were born. So Thakur in a way said, reliance is the biggest asset that person that Thakur taught him. So that day, and Thakur says in Satya Anusaran, which is our holy book that we follow religiously, and that book, and it says there is no achievement greater than faith. So if you learn to have faith, in your existing, in your being, and you will eventually realize the purpose of your existence. So today, in today's living current situation, we not just need somebody to predict the weather for me. I need somebody that prepares me for it. Same way in my life, I just don't need somebody that can predict my life. I want somebody that can prepare me, that can make my life more meaningful, that can make my life more purposeful. My purpose of existence is defined by my guru. He taught me to love not just my two children. He taught me to love children across the street. He taught me to love the children that was on the street begging for money. He taught me to love the children of people that I've never met. So what I have learned in the long run is that my existence is not to fulfill only my life. It is to fulfill life of as many people that come across me. It could be anybody. It could be anyone. But it also doesn't mean that I give that me giving out something or giving money or giving donations is actually defining the purpose. It defines a very small purpose of my life. The real meaning to life is when I make other person's life more meaningful. So if I'm enjoying a life which is fulfilling, I'm trying to give it to my children, I will make sure I pass it on to my next generation. One thing I'll say in the end is, we normally teach our family, we talk a lot of children, and I heard that question a lot of times. Now, the beautiful part is that we always teach our children how to talk to their grandmother, how to talk to their family members. Sometimes we forget to teach our children how to talk to God, how to talk to the supreme power, because I will not be there everywhere. My husband will not be there everywhere. There's gonna be one soul, their eternity connection to the Lord. That is our responsibility as a parent to establish that. Now, that is, I think, that if you look at the future, and I only see my children as a defined, children basically are what? They're basically a reflection of me, right? A reflection of you and your husband is basically what you see in your child, right? Now, I want to see a better version of me on my children, don't we? We all want to see that, don't we? We want to see a better version of me in my child. How will that happen? When I personally change a bit, when I adapt to talking to God and I teach my children, beta, I might not be there everywhere, but when you have success, you got a good report card, you share it to your God. When you get bad thing, you come and sit in the mandir and you talk to God. Ability to teach and have your child talk to God will develop a habit in the long run. And that I only learned in satsang, that I only learned through my own guru. So if we have a fulfilling, if you want to really add a meaning to your life, Thakur says in a beautiful way, he says, take to the feet of a true master, go on taking the holy name, and remain in the company of devout. Truly I say, you have no more to worry for your elevation. With that, I end my thought. If I've not been able to answer your question, I can try again later, ma. Joy Guru.
No, thank you so much for explaining with very nice examples. Thank you so much.
Joy Guru Pratima. Such a wonderful and fully covered answer for this beautiful question. I mean, this question we all have in our lives, and this approach to take it to the finishing line, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to Momitama for the next performance. Joy Guru.
Now, I would like to invite Mrs. Arjita Gupta from Montreal to present a dance on Thakur's song Himor Vidhata. And to add this, I would like to inform everyone that Arjita Ma has taken holy initiation 1.5 months back, and she is also the dance teacher of my daughter. Arjita, over to you.
Jai Guru to everyone. Today, Jai Guru everyone, and today it's my pleasure to perform for a Guru, and I'm newly initiated with this, so it's like it's a new experience for me. This is a small performance on my side to the Guru, the Thakurji. I hope you all like it. everyone you can see
Just to Joy Guru Ma, the sound is very low. So if you can increase the sound.
Okay, 1 minute. Now you're getting my voice?
Yeah, better.
Oh, so and video my video is also properly coming?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sorry, Arjita, there is no sound. No.
No.
Very low.
Very low?
Yes.
Sorry. Now,
Now is it okay? Just
Hello, everyone. I hope you liked it.
Thank you, Ajita. That was absolutely outstanding as always.
Like visiting his grandma. Get out. This is
Thank you, Ajita, for being with us. I pray at the lotus feet of Shishi Thakur for your ideal-centric life ahead. Joy Guru.
Over to you, Priyamda.
Joy Gurudev. So we will continue on our quest. So our last quest today is from our participant, Mr. Abhishek Kumar, and our panelist is SPR Manoj Patroda from USA. Manoj Patroda is a technical engineering lead at Google, and Abhishek Da is an IT professional from Montreal. So Abhishek Da, Manoj Da, the stage is all yours. Please proceed with the question. Abhishek Da.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
So my question is fast day-to-day moving life, how one's alignment towards spirituality will help. Any form of spirituality, like how to what benefit are we going to get?
Okay. Thank you very much for that question, Abhishek. Jai Guru to all of you. And this is a great effort from Matunu Bhai and others. And I really enjoyed all the questions and answers given by different panelists. So now, this question is very profound question in the sense that human beings are essentially spiritual beings. But unfortunately, most people do not have a conscious idea about what exactly is spiritualism. Now, Sri Sri Thakur, in the only book that he ever wrote, and in the only book that ever any Purushottam has written by one's own hands, he writes, the ideas and activities that lead man towards the cause are spiritualism. And he follows that by another sentence. He says, the decision by which the inner cause is made to blossom is real judgment. And then that analysis which determines the real form of the object aimed at is reason. Now let's understand all these three. He says spiritualism is essentially an ability to pursue one's quest, to continuously think as to what is happening, why it is happening, how it is happening, and to find and relate that. The human being has 5 facets of life, right? We call them as personal life, conjugal or family life, our social life, and the larger family life, and then the life of mankind, right? So each of this life poses its own challenges, each of this sphere of life. We spoke about the complexes, very good answer given by Sudhridhima today, which is part of one's individual life. The human beings are considered as sentient beings. Sentient beings means like we have a faculty of sensation, we have a power to perceive, we have power to reason and think. We have our sympathetic mind and the parasympathetic mind. And how could makes it so easy to understand the complexes and to lead ourselves towards a meaningful adjustment of complexes? She touched on that. So we proceed from there. Now, in the family life, it is but a certain thing that between parents and children, there are generation gaps. I use the plural form because earlier when we were growing up, or maybe about 4 or 5 decades ago, it used to be considered that parents and children are one generation apart. There is one generation gap. But with the advent of technology and the pace at which things are moving, there are 4 to 5 generation gaps between children now and their parents. That fast is the world moving. You see, the smartphone has become ubiquitous now, and it is a 5th-generation smartphone. Just about 20 years ago, even the first-generation smartphones were known and accessible only to few individuals. Now we cannot think of the world surviving or existing without the smartphones. 5 generations of smartphones in less than 25 years. So the generation gap between children and between parents is increasing very fast. Now, what does spiritualism help? Spiritualism or that consciousness helps us in adapting to the situation. I know for surety that my children are facing a lot more peer pressure culturally than I faced in my time. And this peer pressure translates in the way they dress up, what they have desire to eat, the way they talk, the way they behave, the way they conduct, everything it influences. Now, how do we safeguard our children from this anti-effect to keep them on a path that Sri Thakur wished, or as we desire to be the right human? I think Surti Vanshida touched upon that based on one question. This is an aspect of spiritualism. When we live in a society, we cannot but interact with people from different upbringing, different culture, all that. Now, having differences of opinion, even within the family and most definitely with our colleagues, neighbors, and people outside, because of their cultural background or because of their political affiliations or any other prejudices and bias, it is but common. I'll tell one small experiment. If we take about 100 black ants and 100 fire ants, those red in color, and put them in a jar, now they will peacefully coexist there. Maybe some food particles are put here and there. One of them has one creed has an affiliation towards sugary food. One creed has affiliation towards some dead insects, and they live about coexist very happily. Now take the same jar and shake it violently. The moment the jar is kept down after that, both the ants start biting each other and killing each other. The black ants feel that agitation was caused by the red ants, and the red ants feel the agitation was caused by the black ants. Now they are not able to rise above and understand that neither of them is the cause. They should rightfully be thinking as to who shook the jar. But these insects are not that kind of a sentient beings as human beings are. But unfortunately, human beings behave very similarly. We invent technologies like WhatsApp, Facebook, and sooner or later, these social media channels become a ground for wars between groups, for enhancing division between friends, and that is how we react. But those who are spiritually elevated and those who pursue that cause behind everything do not get easily shaken up by differences coming out in a viral way in the social media. They think about the cause behind that and try to eliminate the cause of the problem. Now, being spiritually essentially means to always be inquisitive, to explore. If there is a problem, try to go to the root of the problem and eliminate it at the root. There is no solution like eliminating a problem at the very basic and root level. And this is the ability of spiritualism. We have larger issues. Let's go to the social culture. So when one individual tries to become better, and in becoming better, one influences the immediate environment around him, the immediate family members, and slowly and steadily the influence can grow bigger and bigger. But it's very important to understand that spiritualism cannot be confined only to a set of ideas and thoughts. Then it will not grow. Once a question was put to Sri Sri Thakur, the prophet of the age, like leaving aside the physical side, if one does with the spiritual side, will that not give results? And Sri Sri Thakur, spontaneously and eloquently, that he would ever respond to such questions, he answered that day. If one inflicts a wound on one aspect of existence, the other aspects tend to get wounded proportionally. Spirituality is not attained by discarding the physical body. If the body is not kept healthy, spiritual culture does not develop. And that's why it said, Sharira Madhyam Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. What is needed to live, encompassing all and well adjusted go is dharma. I think Rahul might touched on that. Because that well adjusted go of life alone can properly uphold existence and lead on the progressive path. So, for completion of dharma, a coordination between these three, the ideal, the individual, and the environment, is essential. Just like dharma is not possible disregarding the ideal, dharma is not possible disregarding the environment. So, to live and grow with the environment and all that is in it is dharma. So, spirituality is a term, or spiritualism is a term, which perhaps is closest to what satsangis are. Some of them try to use the term religious. Religious, in my opinion, is a more constrained and confined term. It mostly is defined with some ritual, some rites, and all that. The spiritual being may not follow most of those rites, and if one does follow, one understands the reason behind those rituals or rites. What is the practical benefit of that rite? We all do Ishtavriti. One can say from outside that it's a ritual we follow, yes. But the practice behind Ishtavriti is so magnanimous. Every day, a satsangi, a spiritual being, wakes up in the morning, sits in meditation for some time, meditating using the holy name, essentially meditating on one's own inner existence. Who I am, where I have come from, where am I going? Am I taking steps on the onward, forward, upward journey of my life? Consider every day a new lease of life. Make a mental checklist of important activities to be accomplished that day. A few steps that are yet to be done. It could be small steps. Responding to a mail, making a call to someone, apologizing for the mistakes I did to my neighbor, or patching up with a friend or a family member, or take something, complete a poem, write a publication. Could be small to big things. Make a mental checklist of those things. Awaken the divine qualities within oneself. I think Sudritima touched upon that. Take that vow that these divine qualities are within me because I am essentially a divine spiritual being. Raise one's level to that point where any obstacle or hurdle cannot bog me down. Have enough energy and enthusiasm to overcome that, and then go ahead with accomplishing the task list for the day. And before we get into that activity, establish the connection with one's Supreme Lord through a material offering, because a spiritual growth needs a material basis. And that is exactly why we take birth. My soul, the spirit or the soul, can only remain floating at a constant level, the same level. If it has to grow any higher or further, it has to do through activities, through physical activities, and hence a physical medium is needed. So my body acts as a physical medium for the elevation of my spirit or soul. This translation of right thoughts, first of all, knowing what will elevate it and then act accordingly, is what is going to make my life meaningful. So, spiritualism helps in understanding the origins of why I have taken birth and understanding what I need to do in this birth so that the mission of this life is accomplished or fulfilled. Associating oneself with a living guide or an ideal, understanding, enhancing one's differentiation to differentiate the good from the bad, enhance the ability to judge, and then act accordingly on things that are good and that will proliferate life and growth is what I should do. That is spiritualism. So, in my opinion, we all then in various things. There's one more thing I would like to tell. Sri Thakur, in that same Satyanusaran book, he writes about the first chapter that we have to be courage, we have to be bold, we have to ensure that we have a coherence between what we think, what we speak, and what we do. Our thoughts and actions should align. And some chapters later in Satyanusaran, he writes, if you become secular at the time of your own difficulties, don't feign to be spiritual at the time of others. Rather, be spiritual at the time of your own difficulties and secular at that of others. Even such a pretension is good. So he has given this margin where one has to tactfully express one's thoughts. When someone near me is in difficult situation, don't try to become all knowledgeable, spiritual, and say, okay, this is why, this is what you did, and so you have led to this, and keep admonishing the person. Rather, one has to encourage, sympathize, and all that. So, being spiritual means also being very practical and pragmatic. Enhance one's level of judgment to be able to see through things, one's power of discernment. And this happens if anyone who becomes an expert at anything is able to see a little ahead in future. Let's say Atanumai's wife is a good cook and she cooks. Somebody is taking cooking lessons from her and says that I am going to put this ingredient first. First, I'm going to put all the first I'm going to put oil, let the oil heat, and before I put the spices, I'll put some water. You say, no, don't put that. You put water on oil, it's going to splatter. She knows if you put water, it will splatter. And if she sees somebody putting water, she'll shout, come back, otherwise she'll splatter on your face. Because of her experience, she knows what will happen if you do this. If you are a software engineer and some junior people are designing a system, you said, no, don't do that. If you do this, you will not realize it in your testing, but when you go live, at the moment your number of users increases 1,000 or 10,000 or million, you will face this problem. So when we become expert at certain things, like this example of driving that Pritima was giving, hydroplaning it happens whenever there is sleet created due to snow. Now those who know, they would warn the driver going there, that area snows, you take appropriate precautions not to be affected by hydroplaning, or what to do in case your car hydroplanes. So similarly, spiritualism is a way that enables a person to enhance one's ability to see beyond. Slowly and steadily, we all have to grow. But in that process of growth, we need a guide. Without a guide, without a loving ideal as the center of one's life, one cannot remain spiritually attuned to get this knowledge and enhance one's own powers. So, in brief, I would like to say this whether we know it or not, human beings are conscious beings. Our subconscious mind is very powerful. And subconscious mind by nature is more spiritual than the conscious mind. Unfortunately, it's the conscious mind that loses this because it's conscious. It is continuously engaged in the sensory motor coordination of what we see, what we perceive, what we react, how we respond. But those who are spiritual beings, they try to enhance this power of consciousness and the interconnection it has with subconscious mind, and see that our actions are generally for the growth in line with being and becoming of life and those principles. So spiritualism is essential. It helps me how to lead my personal life, how to lead my professional life, how to lead my family life, my social life. It has impact on every aspect of human life. This is what I would like to say in brief. Joy Guru. There is a
Joy Guru Manas. Thank you so
For the
much.
explanation. Yep, very nice explanation.
Thank you. Yeah. I'm happy if I could address a bit. Yeah. As all of us are learning, it is a long, continuous journey. I don't claim to be an expert in this, but I know there is an expert sitting there in Devghar, and I am very happy that we have connection with him. When we get continuous guidance, not one. There are many who have followed CCT very deeply in their life, and we see the accomplishments they have in their life. They're all source of inspiration. But our ultimate source of inspiration is CC Thakur and the living ideal we have from his lineage. Joy.
Joy Guru. So we have come to the very end of our uh, symposium, but yes, we do have a few things that we need to complete, and we'll be doing that after the Dhwani. So we will be getting back to Rahulda from Bangalore, and we'll be answering that question. So Atanuda, we want to proceed with the
So I request Srishti, Shanuda's daughter. Srishti, go ahead with the dhwani.
Vande Purushottamam.
Vande Purushottamam.
Vande Purushottamam.
Vande Purushottamam.
Vande Purushottamam.
Vande Purushottamam.
परम प्रेम में श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की
जय।
परम प्रेम में श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की
जय।
परम प्रेम में श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की
जय।
परम आराध्य जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़ी माँ की
जय।
परम आराध्य जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़ी माँ की
जय।
आराध्य जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़ी माँ की
जय।
श्री श्री बरदा की
जय।
श्री श्री बरदा की
जय।
श्री श्री बरदा की
जय।
आचार्य देव श्री श्री दादा की
जय।
आचार्य देव श्री श्री दादा की
जय।
आचार्य देव श्री श्री दादा की
जय। जय।
संघ की
जय।
संघ की
जय।
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे आदि पितृन
वंदे
वंदे मातृवर्गन
वंदे मातृवर्गन
वंदे हम कृष्टि देवतन
वंदे कृष्ण
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम
परम प्रेम में श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की
जय।
Yeah, Piyanda, over to you.
Joy Guru. I'm like, I just want to say this in Bengali first. এত সুন্দর করে ধ্বনি কখনো দিইনি আজ অব্দি। It's so beautiful, so beautiful. It's like perfect. I mean, Ma, you should teach us how to give dhwani like this. Thank you so much. Thank you. Beautiful.
welcome.
Okay, so we'll go back to Rahulda. Rahulda, are you there?
Am I audible now?
Yes, Tata, you're audible. So we can continue with your answer, Dada. Jai Guru.
Yeah. Jai Guru to one and all. Extreme apologies for the technical glitch I faced last time round. So I am deliberately putting my video on off, so just in case there is an impact. Again, to begin with, I bow down before our love Lord Shri Shri Thakur Anukul Chandra. I bow down before Paramaradhya Janani Shri Shri Borma. I bow down before Param Pujyapad Shri Shri Borda, and I bow down before our living guide, Param Pujyapad Acharya Dev Shri Shri Dada. Again, my profusely thank Rajnima for creating this opportunity to speak about the utmost existentialist, the pillar of our existence, Param Prema Shri Shri Thakur. The point that we intend to deliberate as to how do we know, how does Thakur guide us when we are in confusion. So I take this liberty to repeat, what we intend when we say confusion. Confusion is nothing but probably when we perceived ourselves to be in a state of mind where we don't know a particular situation, how to tackle, how to approach. What could be my right answer to the situation I stand in? Let me go back to even basic question that it comes out from. Why do I need to take a decision in a situation that stands before me? I take a decision to arrive at the desired result. What is the desired result for any one of us? I am driving down to office, find there's been an accident on the road. I have a really important meeting to attend. The situation demands that I get down and attend to the person who is hurt or whatever, somebody involved in an accident, whatever the situation might be. My approach would definitely depend on the severity of the situation and how badly am I the only one to do that. But in case, if so bad, or the situation so presents, my approach would probably then fall back on the basic question of existence. Not only in the situation probably that I presented, probably are in our day-to-day life as well. Confusion arises because we answers to a question, and the answer which is conducive to what I think is good for my existence is what I do. We were talking before me, the respected jury was discussing on anger, maybe, or maybe how to upbring children and all that. But probably at the crux of each one of these situations is the basic thing of my existence and my becoming. Whether it be for my child, whether it be for the my anger management, whether it be my professional, personal, social sphere, whatever we talk about, the basic question still remains, I do that only because I want myself to exist and thereafter grow, prosper in life. And therefore that confusion, whether my approach is going to be the right one, and who is going to guide me there. The current situation, the current pandemic has forced each one of us to adopt a different lifestyle than we have ever perceived that, or probably something which we never imagined, thought in our wildest dreams we'd be doing. Sitting at home, something which is very basic to my, or was very basic to my existence. Meeting around, involving around with people. We have stopped that. We have probably tried to find an alternative. Why has that happened? Just to ensure that we exist. Just to ensure that we prosper, we become better than what we are today. And we do whatever it takes. And the clearer that objective is to me, the feeble the confusion. Right? I mean, where does Thakur come into picture here? Thakur comes into picture here because when I talk of existence, when I talk of taking the right decisions, when I talk of coming out of my dilemma, who better than a living embodiment? Who better than the personality in whom infinity has been confined? Whatever situation, whatever problems we talk about, someone who has led his life practically demonstrating an answer to each one of these, practically demonstrating the approach that needs to be taken to uphold my existence. Simply put, Thakur said, dharma is what upholds the existence of self and the environment. So then my confusion is gone. I just need to take that simple, a step of something that is upholding my existence. And to be able to freely and easily do that, I could go by the rule books. I could go back to what is there written somewhere in the scriptures. But I feel more easily we can fall back on the experiences that we have had. That is what begets me, instant and probably the most practical knowledge, most practical wisdom. And that can happen only when we are guided and goaded by somebody who has done it, like a coach. When a sports person goes there out on the field to harness his potential to the fullest, we need a coach who is fulfilling, who can convert, who can translate those possibilities into, into action, and the possibilities into realization. So why even, wait for me to get into confusion? Why even wait for me to fall into a foggy situation where I don't know whether do I go left, right, whether do I do this, that, whether do I handle this way or that way? Let us take that preventive measure. As we do, let's say in the current situation, to build our immunity, don't we? We all try to do that. Let us try and prepare ourselves to be able to be in a situation where we to be able to evolve, where we never get into that kind of confusion, or even if we do, my actions or my probable actions are very clear to me. I know, and that can happen only when I awaken. Thakur is not someone to be just appreciated on a tabletop discussion. Not probably only to be confined in a photograph. Not probably only to be confined looking upwards and calling. No. Thakur is something which needs to be awakened within each one of us. He's the existence of all that exists. He's the consciousness of the entire creation that has ever been. Thakur is the living embodiment of existence. Thakur is the living embodiment of the path of eternal path of light and life, eternal path of becoming. And my only way to evolve and to realize, to be able to, is to is by active adherence, active attachment to him. Because as Thakur aptly put, a man is shaped and fashioned by what he loves. I might fall into a trap of a mathematical calculation and then probably need to go to a teacher to guide me how to approach this. Similarly, we might get trapped by different diversities of situation which life presents us. Or be clear, very clear about how do I need to approach. Situation might be different. It could be a mother-child relationship. It could be, as I described in the example, it could be something else. It could be in my professional, personal, social, whatever sphere that I talk about. But ultimately, it is what is conducive to my being and becoming, what is conducive to my existence. And that can only be realized when I hold on to a person realized in whom existence is manifested. To simply put, to reap the harvest of showing, seeds in our lives, showing him within me. I need to be initiated. I need to surrender. I need to evolve by conducting my life in a way that he desires, that he wants out of us. Yasha bhavati yadrishi, siddhi bhavati tadrishi. The Sanskrit saying has a simple meaning. Attention to the means ensures the end. So if I need an attainment, I'll need to focus on the means that will help me attain that. So when I need to lead a confusionless life, when I need to have a crystal clear view of how I go in life, I only need to focus on the means that will help me achieve it. I only need to focus on how do I awaken that supreme consciousness within me. And that will happen when I hold on to someone who is the living embodiment, as the sports person did surrender to the coach, so that the coach could, harness the potential to the fullest. We all are born, are, minuscule images, replicas of Father the Supreme, the most evolved soul to have ever happened, the creation has ever witnessed. Active adherence, practical attachment to him, giving him a space within me so that he prospers within me. We call Bij Mantra. Why? We need to sow him within us so that he gets that supreme consciousness awakens within us, which is able to, just like a cakewalk, guide us through whatever situation presents. I'll end by, just, correlating again to the present situation. When the world, what is transpiring globally, has, freaked everyone out, has put everyone in a state of dilemma, has probably put everyone in a state of uncertainty. I may not know what is going to happen next moment to me, or for that matter, whatever. But I definitely know, as Preeti was, so blissfully explaining before me, present. I know this present is enjoyable if I hold on to someone who has shown the path of enjoyment. Let us focus on the means. End is definitely, most definitely ensured. Let us, bow down, give that space to Thakur within us, hold on to Thakur, try and conduct our life in a way that he wishes and wants each one of us, because he has come down, he has descended down to this earth to protect each one of us. Beyond boundaries that we can imagine, beyond limitations that we can perceive, beyond possibilities that we can ever imagine and perceive. We are sons of Father the Supreme. Each one of us has come with unimaginable possibilities. Let us, wander no further. Let us not, put our back towards light and cry darkness. The light and life has come in human manifestation. The light and life has come to redeem each one of us, so that each one of us can truly do justice to the possibilities that he has bestowed upon us. He has bestowed us with. I end by, bowing down to Thakur and praying to the ever merciful, that each one of us realize and evolve to a point, to the personality, to the individuality that he wishes us to become. Adorations to fulfill the best. Bande Purushottamam. Joy Guru.
Joy Guru. Joy Guru Rahul.
Jai Guru, thank you so much, Rahulda, for answering it, and it was very well explained by you. Thank you so much, Jai Guru.
And again, once again, apologies for the earlier glitch. But I think whatever happens, happens for good. Probably I got the leverage of taking a couple of minutes additional this time. Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
organizers as well, because it is always him, his mercy, which is there at play. And I really feel privileged. I do not know what, with my limited understanding and expression, how much justice I can do to the immense bliss that he's showering upon each one of us. But one thing is for sure, he has given opportunity to this humble servant that a couple of things I could speak out. Thank you so much. Joy.
Thank you so much, Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
So, do we have anyone from the attendees who would like to ask a question? If any question attending this session has come to your mind, if you have any question that you want to ask to any of our panelists, you can ask that now. Okay. Once again, thanks to everyone for taking your time for attending this wonderful event today at the beginning of this year. Over to you, Athanuda, for concluding the event. Jai.
Thank you, Priyamda, and I would like to thank all our friends and colleagues who participated and asked queries, questions from their hearts, and thank you all the panelists who took their time off and joined this program. So thank you very much. So I hope the queries they will find the answers, and anytime we always meet, so if they have any more questions, anything they want to discuss with the panelists who are there, so they can always do that offline. They can, I have the contact, so I can help them out on that. And if anyone wants to know anything or ask any more questions to our panelists, so the forum is open, so you can go ahead and do that. If not, we can conclude this session over here. Thanking all of you. So anyone, does anyone have any question? Okay, so I think no one has any questions. So thank you very much. Thank you once again. And I pray to the lotus feet of Sri Thakur for the well-being of all of you. So thank you. And so let us close this session over here. So it was a wonderful experience. Thank you very much for joining. Vande Purushottama.
Jai Guru.
You